Hello. This is AJT500 slash Challenger Track 98 slash Heloise Wonderwise slash Hilo, and this is the pre-Guild War Ramble for Water. If you're not acclimated with this series yet, it's pretty much I do one of these at the start of Guild War and one of them at the end, or pretty much the one at the start shows what I think might be used for Guild War and what could be useful in general, and then the other one shows what I actually used or what I saw used, and then we kind of rank it afterwards. Today we have a special guest. We have the Monarch of the Tides, the Leviathan M3 Weapon Barer, the Third Water Eternal, and the One Book Pirate, Gwen from Twitter. Gwen, can you please introduce yourself?
Hello. I'm Gwen. I'm not anyone special. I just play water and primal water. I just finished getting primal water for this guild war, and I plan to try to rank. I'm not sure I can do it. I plan to try. So I want to look seriously into the weapons, the summons, etc. So I can be set for every set that I can possibly get.
Okay,
So, yeah.
I didn't actually know you were trying to rank. I thought you were weren't you playing Final Fantasy? Final Fantasy 14?
I never heard of that game. Please let me know.
Okay, got you. Okay. Alright, so Gwen is going to be joining me today, and we're going to be talking about usually this normal stuff I talk about, which is weapons, summons, characters. This is mostly going to be primal focused, unless Gwen has notes on Magna stuff, because I don't play Magna, so I'm going to just let it leak. So yeah, let's pretty much get into it. So the first thing I'm gonna go over is the Exalto, because I think that's the most important thing. I guess the most important new thing is the Exalto. So the Exalto is the crit Exalto, which I think a lot of people thought was gonna happen. Gwen, how are you feeling about this weapon so far? Do you like the crit grids or?
I personally like them a lot. Like it feels much better than what I was running before. I was running crit, but it felt a bit weak. And with the Exaltos, it feels much stronger, and it works even with one. So that's a bit of a surprise. But I still prefer to spark a second one because I think that's better.
Yeah.
But it feels like a great weapon. It's the core of pretty much every single one of my grids right now, except if I'm not critting, which rarely happens. Maybe in like Arcarum, but otherwise I'm always critting, so I'm always putting them in.
Yeah. So like you mentioned about how like it works with one, but you went for two. Like I'm kind of the same mindset. Like I'm a freak, so I sparked a third one as well. But I really think that you kind of just sit at two. I think two's like a really solid base for most grids. It gives you the amp and the crit that you need to like actually do what you need to do. Also, another thing too is you mentioned like if you crit, which is kind of something that's a little bit curious about water, because like I feel like water is slightly different than light, even though they have like the same type of Exalta, because water, at least from my knowledge, doesn't have like a 100% crit character like that. Like Mugen is what I'm alluding to, and if it does, they're not really being used right now. So you kind of just do like 100% crit from the grid, as opposed to like in light sometimes you go like less than 100% crit, and then you just rely on Mugen to kind of do it for you. So
Yeah, the only character that gives 100% crit I know of, it's either Erika for Hraesvelgr, or Yatima, but that's at forced. That's with data synchronization, and she's not going to have that in low turn setups, etc. So
yeah.
it's not really reliable. So every single one of my grids, I get 100% crits. And the thing is, for every single grid, you need basically 4 weapons to get crit. That's why you can also run just one Exalto with 3 other weapons like Pholia Bow, Europa Spear, and something like 2 Wamdus spears. It works perfect. So like, yeah.
So I don't know if there's really anything else to talk about with this weapon, to be honest. You ain't ain't nobody main hand in this thing, so it's kind of just.
Nah, this is not amazing. I don't know what classes will even like can go if you want go. Nah, that doesn't happen.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't really have anything else much to talk. Well, I have more to talk about with this weapon, but I don't really need to talk about this weapon specifically. It's kind of what plays into that crit build that we were talking about with the 4 different weapons. So unless you have anything else to talk about specifically with this one, we can move on to another one.
Yeah, we can move on.
Okay. Alright, I think the next one, unironically, that we should do is probably Pholia Bow. Because Pholia Bow is like, I feel like there's a lot of different crit weapons you can put together to get that 100% crit with the Exalto, but this one is like the one. Like you're using at least one of these in everything, because it gives the crit, it gives the big crit, the big attack, it gives another attack, and then it has the awakening too for like the skill damage stuff. So it's just like overall like the second, well, probably the best crit weapon just in general. It's just that the Exalto comes with, you know, the amp and the Exalto quality, so you use that as well. But
yeah,
this is like the big weapon.
yeah, I have this in basically all of my grids as well.
Mm.
It is a very strong weapon, and before I even had the Exalto, this is what I was running in all my grids. I'm not sure there's much to say about this either, other than you can run with only one now in most of your grids.
Mm.
Before it was always 2, but now it's just 1. Since you have the other crit weapons and the Exalto and stuff.
Yeah. So, oh, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was just going to say the charge attack awakening is kind of useless. I have never seen anyone using.
Oh, the charge. Yeah, I've noticed. The only time I've seen anyone use it is when they use 2. They'll put it on the second one, because I don't remember what it is, but isn't it like it's like something where if you have a maxed one, if you have a second one that's skill, you only need to take it like 1 or 2 levels or something to actually max it out. So it's not even like that big of a gain if you use like a second one that's just skill again. So I think that's the only time I've ever seen someone use the charge attack awakening is for a second one.
Yeah, that's basically it. But now I don't even run a second one, so even that doesn't really come into use.
Yeah.
At least for me.
Okay, so that weapon, not well, it is crazy, but it's kind of straightforward, and it's been around for so freaking long too that I feel like people kind of just know about it at this point. I feel like the next one we got to do is seeking. Bro, they always mess with me. I don't know how to say this, so I always say Galilees.
Galilei?
How did you say it?
Galilei's Insight.
Galilees. Alright, Galilei. So so Galilei, this thing, this is like the main right hand partner for the Pholia Bow, right? This is kind of like the last thing that you kind of use to get that crit to 100%. Plus it comes with like the stamina, and I guess it has a little bit of double attack in here too.
Yeah, I wish it was super attack, but it's still kind of useful.
Yeah, I'm sure you do, water player. Just give them some more stuff. Give them some more stuff.
Because I have Ameno Habakiri now.
But yeah, I mean, this weapon, I feel like a lot of this stuff is kind of straightforward, because I feel like your grid hasn't really changed that much. You kind of just put the Exalto in, and now your grid just kind of works. But you're kind of running a lot of the same stuff you were already running in water. The only other thing about this weapon is you can use it as like a main hand for like I guess Spartan Paladin type stuff, like when you do like your Mugen full autos, stuff like that.
Yeah, I personally use it there as a main hand. Otherwise, always as a grid piece. Nice time grid.
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah. So I mean, Galilees is Galilees, or Galilei. How do you say it? Okay.
Galilei?
Yeah. All right, so the next weapon, I wanna touch on one thing while we're kind of talking about the crit, and I don't know if you actually have this one or not. I'm a freak, so I have this one, but the Valentine's Sin weapon. Do you use
No,
this weapon?
I don't have it,
Hmm.
and if I did, I'm not sure I would really use it.
Hmm.
I see it has uses, right?
Yeah.
But me personally, I don't know.
Hmm.
But I'm not planning on getting it either. Maybe if it drops in my lap one day, I will use it. But
Hmm.
for now, I don't use it.
Yeah. So the main reason I want to bring this up is because this weapon and the second tie side bow are kind of in the same situation where let me see if I have a grid if my game will load. Hey, ignore this. I'm farming dragons, bro. Farming
Don't
dragons.
use it. Everyone,
So like this grid right here that I have, pretty much the main spot where this comes in is, I mean, I guess technically you can use it for high level too because it has like the healing thing, and technically you can use it for high level for like the same type of like crit setup. But essentially, what this accomplishes is you can either, when you go single sided, so you only have like one Varuna, and then you have like Wamdus and Gabriel in here with two Exaltos, you can essentially two Exaltos plus a tie side won't get you to 100% crit. But if you don't use Valentine's Sin weapon or a tie sai for this next slot right here, you also won't hit 100% crit, which means you then need another weapon on top of that to hit 100% crit. So
okay.
that's the reason why I wanted to bring this up, because especially with single-sided stuff and with Guild War, something like this may come into play. And like me personally, I have another bow that I could have barred, but I also had this weapon, and I chose this weapon first just because, like we talked about before with the tie side, like the second one's like Awakening isn't crazy, like the CA one isn't crazy, and the skill isn't crazy, and this has like different mods on it and stuff like the stamina and the healing cap. So I chose
Yeah.
this one for my crit thing. But that's pretty much why I wanted to bring that up, is just because of the single-sided nature of this thing, because I know, like, I guess that kind of goes into what I was saying earlier too, where water doesn't have a Halloween Mugen, so it's like trying to get that 100% crit on like turn one isn't as possible with water as it is with light. So you kind of have to make it yourself if you want to do that. Um, so
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah. Me personally, I don't have a second Gospel of Water and Sky,
Mm.
so I'm always running Wamdus Spear. So
Oh
maybe
yeah.
that's why I don't run into as much crit problems, because since it has 20%, I always have one in my grid, so I'm basically always hitting. Even if I didn't have like, even in this grid, if I didn't have Valentine Sen's weapon, I would still be hitting the crit.
Yeah, because I think that type of grid looks something like, like this, right? Where you swap this and you do this, and then you get to your 100% crit. Oh wait, well I
Yeah,
guess it's still 100% crit, but it's like that, right? Where you just
yeah,
use
yeah, something
Galele or
like that.
something else right there. So
Yeah, that's
yeah.
what I use. That's
Hmm.
basically what my grid is like.
So yeah, that, I mean, that makes sense, especially if you, because I know now I kind of forgot about that, so I'm glad you brought it up. I forgot that a lot of people were telling me too, and that this is like my OCD kicking in, but a lot of people were telling me too, like, yeah, you shouldn't, or it's not really worth to bar the second Gabriel dagger because you can just do something like this and use the Wamdus thing as a surrogate for that supplemental. So I mean that makes a lot of sense, especially if you don't either have weapons or you don't want to farm the bars for weapons, stuff like that. Like, you can definitely just
Yeah,
make it do. Um, so yeah, that's a good point.
I don't
Um,
know how much value you get out of the 7% damage cap here specifically.
I don't even know if does this still hit. Uh, okay, so yeah, this 7% versus just 14%. Yeah, I don't really know either, to be honest. Especially if you took one of these and you had like a really big stamina on this joint too. That might actually be like pretty kicking good for for this. So yeah, I don't really know either. I haven't really done like a lot of testing between the Wamdus weapon versus like the two PNS. So I don't know either. Okay, anything else to talk about with the single-sided crit stuff?
Other than the fact I rarely run it,
Hmm.
personally, I have for this Guild War I have a few grids with it,
Hmm.
but in general I rarely run single-sided. Even now with my Exaltos and stuff, it's often just
Hmm.
if I'm running 000
Hmm.
or Bubs, it's always double-sided.
Yeah, yeah, I do feel like, cause even like that, I forgot that guy's name. I think it's like Hikate or something. That one guy that puts out all the full autos and stuff. Like that guy, he came out with this full auto recently, and the full auto I was using before was, by the way, I know you got some words about this guy in the middle,
Yeah,
huh? But
I'm not gonna,
but
I'm not gonna give it.
but the full auto I was using before was like a mana diver with single-sided Bubs main, but now this is faster, and this one's double Faruna too. So like I can definitely see how double Faruna is just the way to go in a lot of situations unless you really need something specific. So I don't really know how much the single-sided crit matters either. Okay, but that's fine. All right. So I see two weapons here. I'll go with this one since we talked about it a bit. The PNS. As I always say, PNS is just PNS. It's the same thing. But pretty much as you brought up, this weapon does lose a bit of value considering you have the Wamdus Spear, which not only gives supplemental as well, but it also gives crit, which plays into like water as a whole.
Yeah.
So how are you feeling about this weapon?
Honestly, I think having just one is kind of a perfect spot. Like even if you have just one, you are perfectly fine.
Hmm.
So that's something that I think Water has over other Elise.
Hmm.
And I've seen grids that don't even have a single Gabriel Dagger in them,
Hmm.
and just two Wonder Spears. Especially for OTKs in Magna to hit 100% crit and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I don't feel too gapped about not having my second one. I think it's just fine. Even if it's not uncapped, I think you're good.
Hmm. Yeah, I think another thing too that I've noticed as well, like I feel like it kind of depends on what setup people are running, but I know even for high level stuff, people don't always use one or two of these just because they're doing like Ogi stuff. They're not even doing like auto attack or I guess I don't know how much skill damage do you guys do on like your Ogis. You don't do like a ton on your Ogis, right?
On Ogis, no, I don't. Um, other than Yatima, no, I don't think anyone
Yeah.
does the script.
Yeah.
But there is a lot on normal attacks,
Mm.
and oftentimes when I'm doing an Ogi setup these days, I do Chrysor, so I'm still normal attacking a lot. So
Mm.
there's a lot of Asilia skill damage in there.
Mm. Yeah. So I guess it kind of depends on the setup, but like you said, I feel like you could honestly get by. You could honestly get by with just one of them. To be honest, I don't think you really need two. And honestly, like you said, I don't even think you really necessarily need. Um, you don't even necessarily need it uncapped either, because even this damage cap, you guys have Haase. So a lot of times when you guys use Haase too, you bring that. I guess we can go to that. We can go to that. Do you have anything else to say about this weapon before I move?
Uh, nah, I don't think so. Yeah, it's
Okay.
fine.
So the thing I was gonna lead into was Haase's bow, where you guys use this a lot because you guys use Haase a
Yeah.
lot, and this gives the damage cap too. So even if you don't have the PNS uncapped, you can still get the damage cap just because you're using this weapon instead. So
Yeah, there's also the I think I guess it's a different kind of damage cap, but there's the damage cap just from having full moon.
hmm.
So that helps. I think it's like 20% or something. It's very
Oh
big.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, I mean you guys are taking good as crap on damage damage cap. So, uh, I don't know if there's too much to say about this weapon. You just kind of like you just pair it with Haase because like this part makes it, like your team into a monster, right? Like
Yeah,
whenever she's front
basically,
line.
Yeah, it gives like the same buffs as having Bubs main hand, I think. Like
Really?
50%, yeah, 50% attack up and 30% damage cap. It's
Oh,
not 20, it's 30%.
God damn. Jesus Christ. Uh, I mean, yeah. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. This buff seeking. If you're bringing Haase frontline, you're using the seeking weapon pretty much. Um, I think. You have anything else to say about this?
Nah, I think that's it.
Okay. All right. The other weapon that I saw, in that grid from before was the Lancelot Dagger. The Lancelot Dagger is like the World Ender equivalent in water. The one thing that's always, well, I won't even say it's always thrown me off. It threw me off because I remember I was talking to DY before Exalto came out, and I was asking him, like, I was trying to get his thoughts on whether or not you guys were gonna get crit Exalto or not, and we brought up this weapon, and I was like, oh, this must have crit on it. Does this have crit on it? And it's like, no, it has seeking HP. I didn't know that this thing had HP for like the longest time. So I
Yeah.
thought it had like a different mod, or it was like multi attack or something. I don't know. I wasn't expecting HP. So
It's appreciated though. Sometimes in high level at least. Well, I
mm,
guess it's because I run Shalem, who has the max HP debuff and stuff. I feel like she's dying easily, so having this, that extra bit of HP is always appreciated. I
mm,
don't even hit the HP cap in my grades
mm.
in high level.
Yeah. Yeah, and I kind of feel the same way too because once I realized that it was HP, and then especially when I started barring stuff in water, a lot of grids, I remember saying it on like stream too. I was like, where the heck is my HP at? Where's my HP? Because I feel like a lot of the grids don't have like a ton of
Yeah,
HP weapons in them specifically. You guys run off of like Garrison, and you use like Haase's weapon, you use like this weapon, but there's not like a lot of like HP like in something like Earth or something like that. So I can definitely see how this can be useful, especially with being paired with a skill damage weapon, especially when you're running like Haase doing the nukes, Yatama doing the nukes, MC doing nukes, stuff like that. So it's pretty strong weapon. Do you ever use two of these, or do you mostly stick with one?
I only have one, so I stick with one.
Okay.
But I've seen very few grids that use two. They
Mm,
exist. They definitely exist. It's something maybe someone who wants to go full in on water should consider, but it's
mm.
very rare.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I felt too. I'm pretty sure I have another one in the box. Actually, I know I have another one in the box, but I didn't bar it either because I haven't seen a lot of two situations, and I don't know if there's really a lot of space for two either in a lot of these grids. So I didn't.
you read 130,000 supplemental with just one with double sided.
Mm,
So I think two will be a bit overkill. I
yeah.
think you cap skill damage too, thanks
Mm,
to both.
yeah. That's another thing. Yep, that's another thing with the tie side books. You're always winning that. So yeah, I don't know if I would really go for two. Maybe just have it on hand, I guess. Or like you said, if you're really a freak about water, then you could get two. But I feel like one is kind of a good stopping place. Um. Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else to say about this weapon?
Um, no, maybe a main hand with my lever if you want. I don't
Hmm.
know.
All right. So to continue on to that thought, the next thing with main hand. Well, to be fair, I will say before I completely move on, even with that setup I was showing you a second ago with that full auto, that does use it as a main hand. So for like Street King, if you're doing anything like that. But I feel like the bigger thing we have to talk about when it comes to water is these Seeking Opuses. so
Yeah.
so the opus is obviously it's just an opus, right? But the opus is staff, and staff goes perfectly with mana diver, which makes this thing a significant powerhouse, because not only can it essentially free up a grid slot, because you always are going to have your Opus anyway, so making it a main hand just gives you an extra slot over some other Ellies, but the type of stuff you can do with these Opuses is kind of ridiculous, especially the Belial key with the Echo. Not only are you getting Echo, but you can also do like, the Mana Diver double strike, loop essentially with all your characters. So,
Yeah. Wait, did you want to continue?
no, go ahead.
All right. Personally, I have both 250, and ever since I finished them, I have not swapped the falsehood key of my. It has
Yeah, mine's always on this too.
Yeah, I think it's the same for a lot of people. My primal one is extremity right now, and it has been the same for ever since as well. But I've heard that you can maybe run sagacity, the skill damage Faki, just in case for some setups. But I don't know which one exactly. Maybe 100 or 150. But only from its extremity.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big proprietor of not swapping my keys as much as possible. So I'm the same way, where this Magna one has stayed on this one, and the Primal one has stayed on Extremity. And pretty much unless a setup doesn't work, unless I swap that Extremity key, then it's gonna stay on Extremity key, even if it's slightly slower for me. So I'm pretty much in the same boat, but. But yeah, I mean, this weapon is like I said, it's an Opus just like everybody else, but just the fact that it's a staff, and the fact that we have Mana Diver kind of pushes this thing to the point that it needs to be talked about, because it's just ridiculous. And another thing too is we also have like a Gostia Minnow now, and
Yeah.
I was on Aku's stream like a week ago, and he was trying to do stuff with Grand Order, like the Grand Order setup that uses this thing, and we actually realized that once it hits 250, you get that unworldly Ogi too. So not only is your team doing a lot of damage because like the double strike, but your MC is going to be doing a lot too if you do the Ogis plus like Agostia Minnow or even Ouroboros Minnow. Like you're pumping out a lot of damage by using these things. So yeah.
I think a Schrodinger could be maybe useful, since you do so much Ogi damage just on your own. The thing is, I don't think there's space in grades for that. At least not in normal grades that we're going to see in Guild War.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's going to be used, but it's still very strong chart attacks, very strong main hand. I think if you only have one, like if you don't have both at 250, you're going to have to swap keys, because I see this being used from EX Plus at least until N 150, maybe 200. I don't know if you can still get decent kill times with it without it slowing down at 200.
Yeah.
But I think this is used a lot. The Forcehood key with the Magna Opus.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a very popular pick, because pretty much like you said, a lot of people are in the same boat where they just don't want to change their freaking keys. That's pretty much why I made mine 250, because I didn't want to change my key, and I knew that falsehood thing was gonna be used a lot, so I just made both of them 250. But yeah, I mean, you have anything else to say about the Opus?
Nah, I think it's a very strong weapon. I think maybe the Primal one will be used as main hand for Mana Diver.
Like for just promote a lot of kill damage with like Wild Magica for double strike.
Yeah, I didn't really have any setups for that, but it might see use.
Yeah, I mean, I think so too. Especially, I mean, the thing about it is, it's like it's kind of rough because it's like I see where you're saying too, where it's like if you're using Mana Diver, especially if your MC is gonna be like an actual damage dealer, then you'd probably use this one. But it's like at the same time, if you're gonna use Mana Diver with an Opus, like you're probably just gonna use that double strike crap. Yeah. You're probably just gonna end up with more damage if your team's constantly double striking. So I don't know. I see where you're saying though, because it does make sense. But it's so powerful to do double strike constantly. It's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, it's insane with Tyra and Celia. It's just
yeah. Okay. One thing. Let me see. One thing I was gonna bring up for like a quick second was the Schrodingers. So this is like pretty much like you said. I don't think these are really gonna be used, but I assure you, people will use them for like their full autos and stuff if they're not invested in water like that. Dudes are probably gonna stack defensive one of these, attack one of these, and they're just gonna go Rising Force or whatever. You know, they're gonna do some type of Ogi mash that just uses like defensively. So there's not a lot to talk about with this weapon unless you have something else. But it's just, I know people are already gonna bring it up. Like I'm gonna run a Taking 5 Schrodinger grid. I know people in the comments are gonna say it if I don't bring it up. So.
Yeah, I was right before we started. I was trying to make an M250 grid, and I realized I don't really see space for a Schrodinger, even in an M250 for my primal water at least, because I'm using Shishio main hand on Chrysor with Ameno Habakiri on offhand.
Oh, we're doing that Chrysor crap. That what we're doing?
That's what I'm planning. I've seen people even doing stuff with Luchador with the new fist. I think Shishio will work fine for me.
Yeah.
Maybe you can offhand Schrodinger actually. I've seen people do it even in not in a Chrysor.
Yeah.
For water.
I've never seen that before.
That's good because it's literally 5 Magna Exaltos, 2 Lagranges, a Schrodinger main hand with Levi Katana. I don't know. I don't like it.
Christ.
If it works, it works.
I mean, fair, to be honest. I mean, see that's the like I said, that's the reason why I had to go to Schrodinger regardless, because I know there's gonna be dudes that use this weapon. Dudes are gonna use it, so.
I don't even have I have only one MK2 attack Schrodinger.
I don't even have 2. I stopped using them.
Yeah, I mean, I got 2 like last Water Guild War, and I've just been sitting on them. And I only have the special ones because dudes were using these for the Grand Order thing, so that's the only reason why I have these. But besides that, it's just a whole bunch of taking defensive ones, I think, or just not uncapped ones like these. So, yeah. Anything else to say about Schrodinger?
Rest in peace.
All right, fair enough. Okay. Let me see. What else is there? Poseidon. This thing, any Guild War potential for this? I know people use this for high level, but any Guild War, maybe like 250, a full auto or something, like a full auto mash. I don't know.
That's possible. Personally, I don't even have the weapon.
So I know that it's very useful in high level because oftentimes during those raids you're low on HP, so the enmity and garrison really boost not only just your defense but also your attack, so you do a lot of damage. But here I don't know. Looking at my grid, I don't even know if I have space for it. Maybe to replace Celestial Staff.
Yeah.
Maybe to replace that.
That's
otherwise.
Sorry. Yeah, I mean.
No.
That I was gonna say that's pretty much how I feel too. I feel like even in high level, I feel like the reason why this sneaks in more, not only because you actually need the defense and that stuff, but because you have more space. You got like the extra slots, so you kind of have a little bit more space to put this in. But when it comes to normal grids, like you said, I don't know if there's really going to be a lot of space unless you absolutely need it. So yeah, I don't know if this really sees Guild War use, but maybe. I'm sure there'll be someone that uses this for 250.
Yeah.
Anything else to say about this one?
I think it can be used without even being uncapped. So if
Yeah.
you don't have bombs, yeah, you can do that.
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah. I guess it's again, taking damage cap. Yep. I guess you're right. I guess you're right. Don't need to count this joint either, bro. Taking water's the new Earth. Where back in the day they used to say Earth was like the cheapest on bars because you ran Kame for everything. Now it's like it's water because you don't have to bar half your weapons. Okay. Anything. Well, I guess, do you have anything to say about these things? These Diaspora Fist? Do you guys use these at all?
There are some grids that use them in high level. I know they're used in sub HL, for example, and I think there's a good hexa grid, hexa crystal grid that uses them. But out of that, they see used maybe when I need defense. I have used them in Mugen before. When I need defense and attack and stuff, but I don't use them often, if at all.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I use them this good war.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. They're a nice thing to have on deck, but I don't know if they really see any use. The reason I came here though was because you brought up this. I have not used this thing at all. I saw people doing hexa solos with it, so I guess it's like okay, but I haven't touched this thing. I don't know. If you haven't touched it either, that's fine. Do you have any thoughts on this?
I think if you don't have Shishio, I'm not sure if this is the next best thing, but this is definitely something that can be used. Especially since with how grids are looking, you might not be using Schrodinger, so that's where you get your CA supplemental. And it also gives damage cap. So with as you saw with Gabriel Daggers not being uncapped and stuff, this can be decent. You can use that. You use this and Haase Bow, you get 15% damage cap. That's one more than 2 uncapped Gabriel Daggers.
I mean, yeah. So, I mean, I guess it's not that bad. Yeah. And I mean, it is still CA focused, but I mean, maybe for the EX might plus the damage cap, maybe you see some Sumabido, however you say that. Maybe somebody uses this. I don't know. I don't know if there's a better fist that people would use besides like Sky Piercer or something. Or which one?
For EX Plus.
Well, I guess for anything. I don't know what. I don't even know how much water relies on Sumabido for a lot of burst stuff, because you guys have Hraesvelgr and like Mana Diver, so I don't know how much you guys care about that class.
A long time ago, I used to be. It was just for fun, but I used to play like Luchador with one of the skills, the realm skills that gives you instant bar to you and the ally next to you. I used to play that with Lancelot. That was fun. That's just a fun thing you can do. I think that's how the weapon will be used. Like with that skill, not with Lancelot, but with that skill that gives us. So you can just oogie loop a lot, even with Luchador. I don't know what the other skills would look like. I don't think you run tag team on something like that. Yeah, that's something you can do.
Yeah, I mean, you may even, if you can Ogi loop, that could potentially even be like 250, like unironically.
That's what I was thinking about. I think I've already seen people make grids for LM250 with this weapon and Luchador.
Yeah. So is this event still up? I don't even remember. Maybe. Maybe. Yeah. So go farm this thing before Guild War if you haven't already.
Yeah, I think just one.
Like, yeah. I'm not getting a second one. I don't feel like.
Because imagine I say I only have one, and then someone comes up with a 5 special fist grid and just one. So farm them, farm them. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I guess don't be lazy like me, but yeah. Anything else to say about that weapon?
Um, it's better than I thought at first sight, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that was how a lot of people felt, because a lot of people saw Ogi Fist and they were like, huh? What do you mean by that? So yeah, I do think it exceeded people's expectations. So we'll see how it gets used. All right, so next weapon we have the Exo Gun. So I'm on a random drop one that I got right now, but this thing used to be pretty prevalent because of. Oh, I just thought about another weapon, but I'll go to it in a second. This thing used to be pretty prevalent because it was like a mini Hraesvelgr when you mainhand it, but then also you would bring like a ton of special one of these for like the HP and stuff as well. I don't feel like people are really using this that much anymore. I don't know if even like the Relic Buster thing for water, like there's like better options nowadays, and I feel like if you're playing soldier, you're just gonna use Hraesvelgr instead. So
yeah, I don't think the bullet pilots for this are any good anyway. So you don't need to play soldier.
Easy. I don't even know what they are. Oh, so yeah, you only get 3 instead of 6, like Hraesvelgr. So you don't get everything accessible. So yeah, I mean, this weapon, I've told a few people have asked me like, should I farm these? I said just farm like, as much as you're willing to stand, essentially, just to have them in case they matter. But people haven't used these in a hot minute. Anything else to say about this?
I think it can be used. Personally, I use it as a main hand for my sub HL solo. Because the grid I'm using usually has Hraesvelgr, but I don't have that, so I use this weapon. And I think it can be used for the same way for Shieldsworn in full autos. So that's the only thing I see being used. Otherwise, yeah, a Relic Buster burst is kind of not happening anymore.
Yeah.
You either have Hraesvelgr or you don't. So outside of that, yeah, the special copies aren't being used either anymore. We have Magna free. We have much better stuff. We don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah. Like even primal players, like they would rather just use Leviathan daggers if given the need, I guess, over special one of these. So yeah. The weapon the weapon we both forgot about. This one.
Oh.
This is what because I thought about this when as soon as I said it was like a surrogate for HP, I was like, oh, that's why they were using the HP ones was to play into this weapon. So yeah, Wamdus umbrella. That's kind of a important one. This is your other, HP defense damage cap weapon. This is your resonator. How are we feeling about this? I haven't really seen like the pretty much the last thing I saw where people were sometimes using 2 of these, but I haven't really kept up with a lot of primal water grids as of late in the last couple weeks, I guess. So what are your thoughts on this?
Ever since Exalto released, I'd say the necessary this is not as necessary as before. Like you need before it was like 3 was good. Now it's like 1 or 2. I would say 2 is perfect, which is good because I only had 2 before. But even now, I don't see this being used much. Like even in most of my defensive grids, you usually have one of these and one. I have a celestial staff next to it for defense and HP.
Yeah.
Or for example, my heavy grid, I have 2 and celestial staff.
Yeah.
So I don't think this will be used much in Grid War. Maybe in in 250 in my grid for 250, I don't have space for it either.
Yeah.
The grid is very cramped, so yeah, I don't have space for that. And in lower levels, I don't think it's needed as much. So yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it's being used much.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much the same. I'm very comfortable with two of these, but I'm pretty much in the same spot where unless it's something like super high level and you kind of have more space, I don't really use these for like day-to-day full auto either. There's not really room, nor are they really needed, to be honest. So I'm kind of the same mindset. So I don't really know what I don't really know. Well, I don't think people are running like 3 or 4 of these for Hraesvelgr anymore, are they? Have you seen anything?
I haven't seen that. I've seen 3 Exaltos for Hraesvelgr. That's the only
Yeah,
case I've seen 3 Exaltos for Primal.
yeah. I've seen like Exaltos. I've seen like Levy daggers. I've seen stuff like that. I haven't seen these for Hraesvelgr as much either. So yeah, I'm pretty much of the same thought process. But
Oh, but
go
these
ahead.
get used in grids that don't crit. In the grids that don't
Oh
crit,
yeah.
this is really a
Hmm.
row at damage cap.
Yeah. That is a fair point. Yeah. Um. But yeah, I mean, you have anything else to say about this one?
Nah.
Okay.
Nah.
All right. There was one other weapon. I forgot what it was though.
Oh wait.
Oh, this one. This
Oh,
one, right?
yeah, Viking Axe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. So this one, I mean, this one has unironically, I've been slacking hardcore on making setups for this Guild War. So I'm still using what I used for that Eternal event.
Yeah.
Um, which uses this thing, and that's my planned OTK at the moment. So it is nice for OTK. I don't know, are you using this anywhere else besides just OTK though?
Just for EX Plus, yeah.
For what?
EX Plus.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so yeah, the same thing. But I mean, it is good for like that zero button, EX plus. So yeah, you'll probably
Yeah,
you'll probably see some setups with it.
I used it for the Eternal event since back then I didn't have a good enough primal grid for
Hmm,
EX Plus. I used this,
hmm.
and it wasn't even level 200. It was just level 150, and it worked just fine, kind of. Sometimes it left 1%. I'm not sure why.
Hmm.
I'm not sure how, but I think it just works. Yeah, for
Yeah,
EX Plus.
yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's pretty. It's pretty. Honestly, it's the same thing for. It was the same thing for Wind Guild War. I used it for Wind Guild War. Well, I don't even know if it was EX plus. I think that was 90 that I used it on. But those low button lower floors of the nightmares, this thing may see some use. So,
Yeah.
anything else to say about this one?
Um. No. It's fine. It's a good
Okay,
weapon for EX Plus, and I just seasonal use.
gotcha. All right, so next weapon is Ameno Habakiri. This thing has been a hot topic with water and light players and earth players if you follow AGT 500. But so yeah, I mean this thing's been pretty good. I can kind of, because I do have one in earth, I can kind of see the merit, and I can see the merit a lot more with you guys than with earth because you guys actually use crit. But this thing, I mean, this thing is pretty good with the trium. This multi-attack rate, especially, when you're double primal, this is a lot of cheeking multi-attack rate. And
Yeah,
then
I think 30%.
yeah, yeah, it's like if you have, I think if you have double-sided your dragon and your Primarch, it's like 30 or 40%. Like
Yeah.
it's ridiculous. So I mean, yeah, that's just good. Having multi-attack is really good, and even if you go over multi-attack now, you get the added hit thing as well, so maybe potentially a little bit extra damage. But then also just the big thing too is just it plays into you guys' crit grids. So how are you feeling about this? How are you liking it?
Um, so far, I traded it because I didn't really have anything else to trade with my super active tickets,
Hmm.
and it has felt like a nice grid slot.
Hmm.
It's used in some grids. I know that I've used it in for triple attack in my EX Plus,
Hmm.
and I think in my NM90,
from NMI setup. It's also there for triple attack and crit and attack. Otherwise, I used it as an offhand for Chrysor in Hexa.
Yeah.
I replaced my savings with this weapon.
Okay.
If it's better, but at least it gives crit, so it allows my crit to you hit the 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just in general for water and light, it's just a good, if you got a slot, it's helping you. It's helping you because it's playing into your crit, it's playing into your multi attack. So it's just you're getting the best of both worlds, to be honest, with this weapon for you guys' grids. So, anything else to say about it?
No, not really. Just a good weapon. If you have it, you can use it, but I wouldn't say it's like necessary or anything.
Yeah, I think that's a good disclaimer to put too, because I don't know if I mean, granted, again, I don't have it in water and light, so I don't know how necessary it is, but I do know it's easy to get swept in with these freaks on Twitter, because dudes, like, I know dudes are picking up, seconds of these now with the second ticket.
I have seen that.
So it's easy to get swept up, and it's like, oh, do I need Tiki 2 Amenos? It's like, I don't know if you need all that, but I think it is a good slot in, if you have it, or if you don't have anything else to trade for. So yeah. Okay. Alright, next weapon, let's go to Illustrious now. Now, I'm gonna skip over this one, but this one, I need you to sell this like the best salesman I've ever heard, because I pretty much, and somebody actually DM'd me on Twitter asking me about this, because I said it in a stream or two ago now, where I was like, I'm just not talking about Shishio again. I'm not talking about it, and it's a meme for me because it goes back to when I ranked the illustrious weapons in the past, where pretty much I said this thing was just a upgraded Kanashige. That's what I said, and I got lambasted by people. They were like, "This is like the best weapon ever. I use this for all my solos, all my full autos, everything." So I just don't talk about Shishio. So you go ahead. You have full reign, full command over Shishio. You sell me on this weapon.
I have in all my Chrysor, all my Tango, everything. Ever since I got it. Now I don't play Tango anymore. Okay. But that's because this enables Chrysor to a level so powerful I have never needed to look back.
Really?
I have not played Tango ever since I got this. It just works much better with the weapon. All the hits, or the unworldly short attack, everything. I don't know how to properly sell something, but this is. I don't think you need this for Guild War, but if you have it, just know you are part of the elites. That's what.
Yeah.
When electricity was around, we are going to be on top. Us. Nobody else better than us.
I mean, honestly, I'll keep it a stack with you. I have been more, because I've been saying for like a couple months now, I'm gonna get Hraesvelgr for Guild War. I'm gonna get Hraesvelgr for Guild War. But unironically, like, I've been kind of in the back of my head, I've been thinking about this weapon more because, like we talked about before with the Mana Diver stuff, and this is the reason why I haven't pulled the trigger on Hraesvelgr in general. Is just there's a lot of options for burst and water that you may not necessarily need Hraesvelgr, but when it comes to that full auto, especially like me, I'm a full auto 250 slacker. Like, this thing, I'm looking at it and I'm like, this might be kind of nice. And after I've gotten my Excalibur in Earth, and I'm kind of becoming a Chrysor enjoyer too. So hearing that it's like God tier on Chrysor is kind of, because I think even the full, or not the full auto, the Fa Zero. The solos were done with Chrysor too, weren't they?
Yeah, with Chrysor and Shishio.
Yeah. So it's definitely. I don't know. Y'all are doing something I didn't see before. So.
Yeah. You just work very well because you have the heal. You have. I don't know if you can delay the NM250 bosses that much or if it helps that much, but you can also do that. Yeah, you just and also you get glory. I guess the glory isn't really useful. But it's still buffs to char attack specs and stuff.
Yeah.
And you get the stackable one.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's looking more and more tempting. And even that the person that DM'd me on Twitter, I said, like, even though I told him about the meme and stuff, I told him this weapon, just in general, does look a little bit more appealing to me now, because before, when this, I think when I made that tier list initially, I think a lot of people were still on the Kengo train with it, and that's the reason why I was like, just use Kanashige, bro. Like, why are you using 150 gold moons? But now that I think people have started getting more used to it, and we've gotten, I mean, we already had Chrysor, but people have started experimenting more with Chrysor, and we've gotten stuff like Omnioji as well that we didn't have back then that you can use this weapon with. I think it has more usefulness just overall. So yeah, I mean, honestly, I think it looks pretty good from what I've seen so far. So yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else to say about this one?
I guess one thing you note with Chrysor is that when you press the Chrysor S1, you get CA reactivation. Thanks to Shishio, which if you use with Glyphos, that one skill that gives double strike and assassin.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You can get the scale both on the S1, on your S1, and on dual odds. The Chrysor skill that also gives CA reactivation. So you get a lot more. You get a lot more of that double strike and assassin. That's what helps the damage so much.
Yeah, because I was talking. I don't know who I was talking to, but I was talking to somebody where I was like, it's just because I was trying to compare taking like earth damage in like Fall Zero versus water damage, and it's like you guys do so much damage per turn in water because you guys just do like all these seeking ogies, and it's just a ridiculous amount. So even though you guys aren't taking like nearly as many turns, you guys are still doing a ridiculous amount of damage with this weapon and like ogies and stuff like that. So yeah, I can see what you mean.
Yeah, I hope I have converted you.
You hope what?
Converted you.
Oh yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Honestly, I'm gonna keep it. Unironically, I'm gonna keep it real. Okay, you guys are kind of on the back burner now because of the other rebalances. But if I had to choose between this and Hraesvelgr, I'm kind of looking this more nowadays than I am Hraesvelgr personally. But okay, so that weapon. So speaking of the gun itself, Hraesvelgr. So neither one of us have this weapon. It's I guess one thing I want to start with is besides Moon Gate, is there a reason why you haven't gotten this weapon?
Bullet farming.
Okay, besides Moon Gate and bullet farming. If you had the moons and you already farmed the bullets, would you get this weapon ASAP, or would you be sitting on the moons like I am?
I think I would get the weapon, even if I used to be worried a few months back, but then I realized, water has so much burst, so much different burst, especially with the Dark Opus main hand,
that I don't really see this as being that big of a gap anymore. The only place I see it being gap is NM200, because so far I haven't seen any setups that don't use it. Because I only watched Kuatoro's videos, and his setups use Hraesvelgr with 3 Exaltos, but otherwise, the weapon, I guess saying it doesn't interest me would sound weird, but I guess that's it. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, weather has so much different bursts now that it's not as big as a priority for me anymore. I think I will get it one day, for sure. I don't know when, because when I think about it, I think getting Orologia would be a higher priority for me, because I don't feel like using Hraesvelgr much.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much in the same boat, and like I'm like even further ahead because I've already finished the bullets for Hraesvelgr gun. But the thing about it is, like you said, it's just you have so many other options in water now that it feels less useful for, full auto, for burst, just in general, just even I mean, heck, even manual stuff. It's just like it's just like it feels not lackluster, but it's just effort, I guess. And I think another thing too. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Nah,
No, no.
you can.
Okay. Okay. All right. I'll say what I was gonna say, and then you go ahead. But the other thing I was gonna say was just I think even with all that being said, I think another thing too is just people are seeing how many options you have, and like you, they don't want to farm the bullets because the bullet farm is a mind-numbing experience. So why would you do all that when water? Because I think this would be more appealing in like pretty much any other Ellie, to be honest. Pretty much any other Ellie, I think people would be chasing this a lot more. But in water, it's just like, why would I put myself through that when I can just not? I can just not, and I can survive. So, yeah. So, what were you gonna say?
The way I see it is that the gap between having Hraesvelgr and not having it is not as big as it was before.
Mm,
The game has been moving, evolving, I guess.
yeah.
So that's why there has been less of a need for Hraesvelgr, like less of a requirement for Hraesvelgr. You can get very high damage, very fast stuff even without it. So that's why people are seeing less of an interest in it. If you have it, if you have everything farmed, you still get a boost, you still get an advantage, but it's not as big as
Mm,
what it was before.
yeah. Yeah. I'm pretty much just the complete same mindset, to be honest. So, I mean, that's why I'm sitting here just not pulling the trigger on it, because I just don't, until I see something that is just so Hraesvelgr gaps that I have to get it. I'm kind of not as willing to get it, especially when there's other stuff on the table that I want now, like Shishio, like Romfire, like Futsu, stuff like that. It's just like, nah, nah. Uh, Anything else to say about this one?
Nah, it's
Okay.
fine. Yeah.
All right. So the last weapon that we're gonna bring up is just this bow of Sigurd Militis and the Tefnut axe, mostly because they are like filler weapons for trying to get multi attack when there's no multi attack to be had. When you're trying to do those low button stuff. I guess they also do have like their extra skills as well, but I feel like for the most part you're bringing these for the multi attack, right?
Yeah. They're just to reach maximum super attack on your grade.
Mm, yeah.
I believe we have two Urias in my EX Plus.
Mm, I think
But
this like that.
well, yeah, just like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
'cause
I too follow
um,
Ubikin's instructions.
yeah, I thought I would never have to farm Tefnut in my life, but just for my EX Plus, I had to farm it.
Yeah, you better start farming. You better start farming. It's gonna be that next trophy. That next 2K trophy is about to be in needs.
Thankfully, I finished this a while ago. While at some point everyone was hitting the rate, it was kind of crazy.
Hmm.
I finished this, and the bows just haven't dropped for me when I was doing Arkham. Either that or I accidentally read it, then oopsie.
Hmm.
But yeah, so you can use these for EX Plus. The two of them have the same passive, so the same 20% each weapon.
Hmm.
Just the bow is used in primal because it has voltage, so you can
Oh.
use it with.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you guys get lucky, huh?
Yeah, because the third passive
Yeah.
you don't really manhand this, so it doesn't get
Mm.
used.
Another weapon where you don't really need copies though. Although to be fair, a lot of these you don't really need copies for these Militis weapons. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, okay. One other weapon we can hit real quick because I saw it in this grid was Murg. Anything to say about Murg? I mean, I feel like this thing is just this is like the filler of the filler. this is like it's got the multi attack rate, and then it's got attack and damage cap. It's like if you have nothing else, you kind of throw this joint in here. Otherwise, you don't really use this.
Yeah. I have this. I have it uncapped, but I shouldn't have rigged it because I don't have the cages to awaken it. So it's a big mistake. Especially since even when you play Berserker, you can offhand Rise of Justice if you have it, or you can just not have an offhand. That also works. So yeah, I think it needs more in Hraesvelgr comps. Otherwise, I haven't seen any use for it.
Oh yeah, that is true. I guess too. Oh my gosh, I keep thinking of more weapons. Tiki, Drang Ball. Anything to say about this? I feel like this is like. I don't know how much you guys use this for Ogi nowadays. I don't know if there's really space, but I know this used to be like the Copium Murg because it technically has the same thing here. Yeah. It's just this thing is different. Anything to say about this?
I have one that I have not borrowed. I haven't seen any use for it. It was used in a Belial full auto comp. Otherwise, I haven't seen any use for it.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe in Guild Wars it has space for it, but personally, I don't think I will be using this at all.
Yeah. All right. Okay. I think that's weapons. I'm gonna move on before I think of anything else. Okay. Summons. I feel like summons is always kind of a shorter section. You like I usually don't talk about the like the the standard stuff, like Varuna, 000, all that normal stuff. Is there anything water specific? It's like this chick for the crest. I don't know if anything with this chick you can think of.
In EX Plus, I used my old EX Plus setup used her in Magna, so I will get the damage, so I could do no enemy action, like a no enemy action setup. Otherwise, I don't think she gets used anywhere past that, not even NM90 or 100. I don't know why she would be used there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think she's just EX Plus. If you can use her, if you have her, you use her. Otherwise, you can find something else.
Yeah. Okay. I think the other one is Charybdis. Charybdis is like the mammoth equivalent, that series. So like Echo and triple attack. Potentially see some use. I don't even really know, because do you guys even really care about using this?
This is used in Hraesvelgr.
Okay.
Otherwise, I don't think it's used.
Yeah, because like even like the full autos and stuff, again with Mana Diver, when you do like the double strike, those dudes just be triple attacking anyway. So it's like I guess the Echo would help, but I don't know if it really matters that much. Oh, okay, Tyra. Anything about Tyra? I know Tyra. Some people were saying we may potentially get Tyra gapped. I don't know how true that's gonna be, but I know this gives you like, doesn't it give you like CA reactivation at the start or something?
Yeah, when it's not, it's CA reactivation.
Okay, gotcha. So I mean, you think this is gonna get used at all?
Personally, I'm using it in my NM90, but my Tyra is like 1 star. That's because even when she's not uncapped, she gives like a small boost to CA damage, and because a few months ago I was practicing NM90s and stuff, and my setup fell short of like 2 or 3 million damage, so I put it in cope in hoping that it will give me the remaining damage to get NM90. Otherwise, I think the double charge attack lockout is kind of long. That's why even in NM90. I don't think it's going to get used. Maybe it gets used in later stages. Maybe NM250 when you're starting out the battle, so you can have it at start. The
Yeah.
CRS position, you can get your Chrysler skill, your double strike and stuff getting along faster.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I don't think this gets used that much.
Yeah. Now, honestly, now that you think of, or now that you mention that, that's got me thinking too, because that also could play into like 000 too. You could get your 000 stacks faster because you get that reactivation right off the bat. So that's like,
Yeah.
if you can charge attack like that first turn, you can get 2 stacks. So yeah, I don't know. I don't have like any experience using this summon, to be honest. So, and I only really see it pop up like randomly every now and then. It's just all of a sudden Tyra's there. So yeah, I don't know how much it'll be used, but it's something to think about. I guess, well, Summer Bubs is, well, I don't know. I guess technically Summer Bubs is a water summon, but Summer Bubs is kind of more one of those universal summons as well. But I mean, he could be used for the plane damage thing.
Yeah. EX Plus. After that, I don't really know. Just setups where you're lacking like 4, 2 or 3. I don't know how much brain damage the brain damage
I think
is.
it's 2 mil.
Yeah, in those setups, well, I guess you can use him if you need a bit of damage to finish off. Otherwise, I don't think it's that much of a speed up.
Yeah. Yeah, I think excuse me. I think he's mostly like those super low levels, like EX plus 90, 95, something like that. And again, you're already hitting on Ellie for this anyway, so his thing doesn't really matter.
Maybe his call could get used.
Oh, his call?
When the enemy does a special attack, they have a buff removed. But I don't.
Yeah.
Remember, this is. Well, we don't know how the boss will work yet, so
yeah.
we can.
Okay. Any other summons think of for water besides general use stuff?
Nah.
Okay. Alright, so now we're on to characters. First thing we're going to start with before we get into this list is just Holiday Catura and Summer Jeanne. Holiday Catura I know is used for like Hraesvelgr's support. I don't have that character, so I'm not going to really talk about her. Same thing with Jeanne. Honestly, I think I've seen Jeanne in Hraesvelgr stuff too before, but Jeanne is just like, I think like an auto attacker and then she dies or something. I don't really know.
Yeah. He gives bonus damage to the team. Other than that, yeah, he doesn't. She's used in Hraesvelgr, but outside of that, I don't see her being used.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. So let's start. Newest Grand came with the Exalto, Yatima. So I've already fanboyed over Yatima. I love Yatima, and I've tried Yatima in a decent amount of stuff so far. I like this character. I know she's been running a train on kicking like all the high level stuff. Like she's been running the gauntlet. People have been using this character a lot. A lot of stuff on here is really kicking strong. Like this thing having essentially just an Alexial with with capped level. This thing being a tag team is really good. This is a lot of damage, plus it has like this permanent defense down thing. Also just the fact that once she gets data synchronization, she gives like the other mods to like other people as well, like the rest of the team. Like overall, really strong character. I think she's probably going to be used probably mostly in like 200, 250 is where I'm guessing for like full autos. What you got to say about Yatima?
Yeah, I only see her being used in 250 personally. I'm not sure in 100 because I don't know how long that is if she gets to stack up and stuff. But in 250 for sure will get used even in Oogie loping and stuff.
The character is strong. There's a lot of stuff in her kit. I've been having fun with her in basically anything that isn't short content like Subhatel, Fazero, even a bit of Hexa.
Yeah.
I kind of put it aside right now because I kept hinting. But I will get back to it one day. They are not so for me. I will come back one day.
Okay. Uh, anything else to say about Yatima? I mean, I think she's just strong. She's a very strong character. She's very, I mean, she's like defensive, offensive. She's like kind of everything. To be honest, she just does a lot.
Yeah, she does both. She's great in charge attacking. She's great in normal attacking because she has those free nuke after her normal attack. It's very
Yep.
hard. Like in Hexa, all three of these hits for 2 million damage.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember seeing that. I remember seeing that too, Tiki. Easy street. So, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I definitely expect to see this character pop up. So, anything else to say before we move on?
No, just grade A character. Amazing.
Yeah. Yatima, my love. One of the only water rings I'll do. Aruki is anything with this character? I don't. I use this character to sack in Wind Guild War. That's my extent of my knowledge.
I don't think she'll be used to stack this Guild War because full fire damage cap.
Yeah.
Maybe in full autos. I used to play her in Mugen full auto, and it worked. She stacks glaciates pretty fast too, so I could get it on level 10 before phase 2. But like that's not something that matters that much because it falls off anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah. Otherwise, I think she would just be in backline for Magna setups.
Oh yeah, because she does have the passive.
Yeah, either full autos or backline for Magna setups. I don't see her anything else.
Gotcha. Okay. Alright, let me see. Nier. I'm like, I've never used this character. Let me just start with that. I don't even have her S3 unlocked. I've never used this character. I remember she gives MC double strike or something, right? Or is it just her?
Just her, I think.
Okay. Well, no. Well, actually, yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, just double strike. Okay, so MC gets that part. So like, I think when this character first came out, I saw people trying Hraesvelgr stuff, and then I think that fell off, and now I see her in like Fa Zero. So, do you know anything about this character? What her uses are? What people bring her for, or anything?
Well, recently I've seen her, in Fa Zero. I have seen a Fa Zero solo with her, so that's something. Otherwise, I think she gets used in an EX Plus setup, because of the nuke at the end of turn.
Yeah.
That aside, I don't think it gets used anywhere else this Guild War. Just EX Plus, and after that, I don't think her kit works that well in NM250 or even lower levels outside of EX Plus.
Yeah, I feel like this character is more of like a manual-ish character, I want to say. I feel like I don't think I've ever seen anybody full auto with that chick before. It's some type of manual thing, whether it's high level or it's Hraesvelgr. Okay. I don't think this guy. I don't think Korwa. I think Korwa has like one thing for Hraesvelgr, right? She gives like Echo or something.
She's in bigger, but outside of that, again, not really.
Nothing. Okay. Tefnut. Unironically, I kind of like Tefnut. I used her for. Well, I think she's still on my Colossus full auto, the M3. But this character seems pretty nice. I mean, she's got the dodge. She's got the dodge thing on everybody. She's got this dispel. She's got that one thing, that makes them essentially they can barely ever hit you. She also does like she plays into like Ogi stuff, and she also the really important thing is she what is it when she Ogi she gives the person behind her double strike, which plays perfectly into Paella. So like that can be very strong. Anything to say about her?
She was basically the main, one of the main units in my Hexa team. It's the reason like the team is so strong because Paella gets to double strike all the time, and her S1 activates automatically while that buff is up. The buff that gives the next ally double strike. So it basically it's uplift and it's also damage amp because it gives wide open when it's that.
So she's like she's just a really good support for somebody else, essentially.
Yeah. Charge bar gain to the whole team with attacks. It gives guaranteed super attacks. So I think some people were using her in sub HL with Hraesvelgr or also with Hraesvelgr because it gives guaranteed super attacks. I see her being used in NM 250, maybe 200 because her charge attack it's kind of one turn she charge attack the other turn she doesn't do anything, so it's not that reliable, but I can see it being used. Otherwise, it's still a nice character. NM 250, NM 200, maybe. The thing with Yatima now, she kind of took her spot in what I use her in, so I don't know if you don't have Yatima, or maybe if you're missing some other core unit, you can use her. But if you have everything, I'm not sure she really has a place. Unless the boss gets that many buffs, and you need to dispel every turn, she can become useful then.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's pretty fair to say. Okay. Yeah. So maybe because I know a lot of people actually didn't pick up Yatima or didn't luck into Yatima either because they were all planning to save for the summon on the last banner. So some people may have Tefnut and not have Yatima, so it may be a replacement. Okay, Lucio taking a waste of my anti-ticks, bro. Tiki, this dude is just Hraesvelgr support, right? There's nothing else. Yeah. Nothing else really. I mean, he's good Hraesvelgr support, but I don't think you're using him for like anything else. So.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let me see. Not this guy. Not this guy. Not this guy. All right. We got a big one. We got a big one. You like this character a normal amount, right?
Very normal amount. This character occupies a normal amount of time in my brain. Really nothing alarming here. Yeah.
Alright, just had to make sure. So Paella is like she is a very big part of water right now. Very big part of water. This character is seeking Bus's crap. She's FLB before she's FLB. She has so much stuff in this kit. Like, you know, she has like her normal like Zodiac buff that like all the Zodiacs have. This thing is seeking busted, where it's just like you give everybody else on the team double strike. And I remember when I was still a Paella noob, my logical brain was, oh, she all ally subs and she gives everyone else double strikes. She stands here and does nothing on that turn, right? No, she can still keep doing whatever she wants. she can still keep attacking with this move, which is seeking ridiculous to me. This thing is, you know, the what, triple strike, quadruple strike, whatever. This thing is ridiculous. Also, this thing just does a lot of damage as well. All these passives, like, you know, I know this is your girl, so go ahead and, you know, do as you please.
She's in every single one of my water team with no exception. Even when she's not frontline for whatever reason, in Mugen I think she's not frontline. In Sub she's not frontline anymore. She's backline. She's
there to get EXP, to get more EM levels. I got this character in July, I think. No, whenever Tefnut came out, because I sparked her on that banner and I got Tefnut. And she's already EM 999, so that's just how she was my first EM 999 character after 5 years of playing, 5 years of getting tons of characters.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, she's a very strong character. She's in all my Guild War teams for this Guild War as well. Even NM250, even if she doesn't charge attack all the time, her attacks are just so strong that she does a lot of damage anyways.
Oh yeah.
Maybe there's if you don't have, like, if you maybe need more utility, you replace her with someone else. Otherwise, I'm personally planning to use her. I was planning to use her with Tefnut because I think that's the best, one of the best duos, like Tefnut and Tyra. Right now I have Tyra and Yatsima and Haseya. I'm going to see how that works and I will change accordingly. But for now, I think she's good everywhere. Like, she's good from, because if you don't have Poseidon, you can use Tyra. If you don't, like, no, just the entire Guild War. She's just good. She's just good.
Yeah, and I think the other thing too is, like you said, Tefnut plays perfectly into her. But another big thing we've talked about multiple times, how strong the double strike Opus meta is, and she not only gets double strike, but she gets specific bonuses from double striking, and just has like that ridiculous amount of damage whenever she hits more than once in a turn. So it's just like, yeah, so it's just like she just plays like, she's very strong in general, and then the element plays around her very well in general too. So it's just like she's like the best of both worlds, to be honest. Like, dudes that do not have this character will definitely feel a Pholia Bow in some way, shape, or form. Yeah.
Yeah. I think yeah.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I think the Pholia gap is bigger than the Hraesvelgr gap.
Yeah, I definitely agree. 1000%. Yeah, because the thing about it is you can use Pholia, you know, manual burst, full auto burst, or full auto, like, you know, high level stuff as well, or just high level in general. So it's like you could just use her at everything. She's universal. So just, I mean, very, very strong character. And just to top it all, she's a speaking staff too. So she just plays into everything as well. It's just like, yeah, very, very powerful. Anything else to say about Pholia?
Nah, she's great character, beautiful woman, has everything, including my husband.
Okay. Alright, so next, not this chick, I don't think. Gabriel big. Gabriel very big. Gabriel, she has the Tiki Primarch passive. She has this thing with triple attacks, which you guys are doing a ton of triple attacks, so her stacks are never a Tiki problem. This thing is just extra, you know, extra perma, well, I guess not perma debuff, but, you know, a debuff can't be removed. This is good. I mean, it's just, you know, it's the cut plus the echo and stuff, but it's still good. This, you know, plays into the stacks. She auto uses this. This thing's also she can dispel. You could dispel twice too if you're doing the double strike thing, and she has debuff immunity, like Octo does if she goes into Ogi. So I remember last Guild War she was actually pretty prevalent in that too, because she gave everybody Veil in the Ogi comps. So whether it was auto or Ogi comp, you were using this character. So yeah, what you gotta say about Gabriel?
I think she's going to be mostly used in EX Plus NM90. I think after NM90 I stopped using her. Yeah, she's not in my... No, she's still in my NM100 comp. Just for the skill nuke. And
gives skill nuke, gives extra echoes. She gives tapped fire dabbing. So she's good both offensively and defensively. Um, Redstone Gather. After that, I see her maybe being used in LM250. She's not very good in start attack, but that's the Veil, so maybe that will come useful. I don't really see it being happening, but maybe.
Yeah. I do think I did bring up like last Guild War, but from last Guild War to this Guild War, we've gotten a lot of other characters that can fill in that slot, because even last Guild War she was kind of a filler thing just for that veil, and because she had the dispels. But she was prevalent in last Guild War, but she wasn't like, oh my god, like she's like, the best thing ever, I guess. It was just more so you kind of fit her in because she had what you needed. So yeah, I mean, besides that, I mean, Gabriel, honestly, I mean, she's got a really good kit, but she's also pretty freaking straightforward as well. So I don't have anything else to say about her. What about you?
Yeah, otherwise she's just backline. She gives nice buffs.
Yeah.
Well, the 20% thing.
Yeah, this thing. So yeah, I mean, she'll probably be in Guild War teams regardless, even if just backline. So, Vikala, anything? I know people love her for Hexa. I don't know about for Guild War now.
I don't have her. I don't have the character.
That's fine. I know. I know she gives like she does like skill damage. I think it's like after you use like a certain amount of skills or something, like the whole team, like whenever they use skills, she'll nuke and stuff like that. And she also has yeah, like this stuff. Like she has buffs that she throws out to everybody. But I think Vikala's thing is just she doesn't there's not space in the party for her in a lot of slots. I think that's her biggest issue. There's just stronger characters a lot of times.
Yeah, she's kind of used in Hexa. The reason she's used because you can just kill her instantly after putting up the debuff that makes the skill nuke happen. So, but like I think that's you can't really do that in Guild War. So I don't know if she will be used there, unless she's using like full auto for lower levels. But NM250 even there, I don't see her being used.
Yeah, I think this might be more of like a this might be more of a I'm missing other characters character. Okay, Erika. I mean, Erika is pretty much like Lucio, right? Just Hraesvelgr support, essentially. So not a lot to say about her. Sin, no. Filene, I remember Filene, I feel like is gonna be the same way with Vikala, because I think Filene was used last Guild War too, but she was also like a filler character as well.
Maybe a team that revolves around Glacier.
Oh yeah.
Especially with the Macula Marius rebalance. She's been used more, and she has used it in full auto. And C18s, maybe you use her there. Like with Macula Marius, Filene, and someone else. Maybe Europa, maybe Uruki. I don't know. Depends on your options.
Yeah, that's
the case is not the best. I'm not the best, but if you have nothing better, then they can be used. I think they're good.
Okay. Yeah, that's. I went back here because I remember you said Haruki could build the glaciate stacks really fast too. So maybe some people pair them together. Okay, Anila. I don't really know, to be honest. I've seen Anila pop up a few times because she's still got this thing, but I know this thing has always been kind of a hindrance since she came out, because you have to like, you can't get this like instantly. So I don't really know if this character will get used or not.
I think maybe in certain something like NM 100 or 150, where you take more than one turn, since it gives that special echo after you do center number of hits. Maybe there, but not really for her skills then, just for maybe that passive. And for her flurry and stuff to do damage. But I don't see her being used. Even in those cases, I don't think it's the best option.
Yeah. Okay. Alright. Alright, who's next? Vajra. Are you guys even using Vajra now?
No? No? I don't know.
I feel like I mean Vajra's still good, but it's just you guys got so many people for an Ogi comp now that I don't. She may be finally laid to rest.
Yeah. Definitely the only spark I regret, and the only
Really?
win yeah, because I sparked her in this March.
Oh really?
So if Tyra came out after he was probably already dead. But I have been watching her ever since, like, a few months after I've started. I wanted her for my water teams, and so it's been years where I've been like, I need to get Vajra. And every premium gala I would summon with like free tickets, I was like, this is the month that Vajra came on. And it just never happened. So I sparked her.
Yeah.
It was just for a few months, but as soon as I got Tyra, yeah,
Yeah.
bang.
I was pretty much the same way. Vajra, I think it was Vajra and Vikala were the two Zodiacs that eluded me the longest. And I finally, last Water Guild War, before that happened, I was like, okay, this is the time I'm finally gonna get Vajra. So I did get my use out of Vajra, but pretty much unironically after that Guild War, she has fallen off ever since. Like I have not used this character. I can't remember the last time I used this character besides that Guild War. So it's just like there's so many other options with how strong Water's Burst is and how strong other Ogi characters are. There's not a lot of room for her nowadays. So sleep well. What's the Viking phrase? Sleep well, sweet prince, or something like that.
Yeah.
Fediel, hot, but does she see use?
I think is with Vajra in if you have no better options, NM250 can be used.
Yeah.
But this page is kind of inconsistent since she's on her S. But otherwise, I think she's a good at. I used to use her a lot. She has supplemental damage, she has Unleashed, and she has heal, but she kind of kills herself. So I don't know how, because back when I played her, I was very new still, or my grids were weak, so I didn't have a lot of HP. So she died pretty easily. I don't know how she fares by today's standard.
Yeah, I know people. I can't remember if it's does she work with Shishio or she doesn't work with Shishio. I can't remember. I remember there was something that was going around where it was like
she works with Shishio because Shishio has permanent damage over time, and when she takes damage over time, she gets charge bar plus 10. She gets 10 charge bar. She gives the whole team a supplemental.
Gotcha. Oh yeah, right here. Okay, yeah. So that's what it is. Okay, so it was a good thing with Shishio. I remember that when she came out, everybody was like, it was either she's really good with Shishio or she's really bad with Shishio. I couldn't remember which one it was. Okay. All right. To next, Vanya no, Rosetta no. I'm guessing Wamdus Clarice knows. I don't think.
I think Clarice. I'm not sure if she's used in Hraesvelgr. I think.
Well, I think the main thing is for Hraesvelgr. It's this thing because she does the Sandy Grand thing where she can make the element fire of the enemy, but I don't know if you use her on Ellie. That's like a PBHL thing.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. These are the characters, so
okay.
I can't say.
That is fair. Yeah, I don't think she really sees anything for Guild War, to be honest. Gwen. Well, this Gwen. this Gwen. I don't know if you use her for anything. Does she do like short bursts or something?
Yeah, I think she can be used in short
burst is used like in main your power burst, where your MC isn't the main damage dealer, but it's her.
Okay.
I don't know which reason exactly those are. I think she can also be used in EX Plus because she has guaranteed super attacks and her own damage rate.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Gotcha. Alright. Lancelot? Well, I skipped over these two, but I don't think they're gonna use
No.
Lancelot. Lancelot, I feel like you don't have space for him either, right? I haven't seen this character in probably like a year. I don't think I've seen anybody really using him.
Yeah. In mashing, this has double strike. Maybe, but otherwise, I don't think he really gets used. He doesn't fit. He doesn't really fit in most comps. I don't think he'll be used.
Yeah. Same. Okay. Let's see. None of these. Well, this Juliet. She has seeking Hraesvelgr support as well, but no.
Cupitan has like one use is the supplemental skill damage. Yeah, on she has
right
supplemental
here.
skill.
Okay, gotcha.
So I've seen him with like OTK or Roja stuff, but otherwise, I haven't seen her.
Gotcha.
Like,
I didn't even know she had those. I'm surprised this isn't like a I'm surprised like this line is so basic. I'm surprised it doesn't have like takes effect even when she's a sub ally.
That would be very good. I would love that.
Yeah. Okay. Maria Teresa backline potentially.
Yeah, maybe in well, I would say NM250. But like her skill or her backline passive unactivates when you click a dispel. So even with it will activate once with Tefnut S1. It will activate once with Yatima's S1. But other than that, they are automatically activated. Vajra dispels on Ogi, so it wouldn't really see much use.
Yeah, I feel like this character is I know you've been fiending for her in Justice.
I don't
right?
know. I don't know.
Okay. Alright. Weta Zeta. She's I don't think you really use this character for like you don't use this character for any of this now, right? She's mostly like Halloween Dante, where it's just she gives this unique echo on the triple attacks, and she does triple attacks. So she's kind of just good for those low or no button burst comps. Just for that.
I use her in EX Plus and in NM90. After that, I don't know.
Yeah, I did hear murmurs of people being Zeta gapped because they don't have that unique echo. That
I have seen it. A lot of people come asking me for EX Plus comps, and they just don't have data, or they don't have. I have to work hoops and loops to find them.
Okay, Shalim. I know she was useful last Guild War as well. For Ogi stuff. I don't know. I know you still use her for like high level stuff, but I don't know if you're going to use her for like your 200, 250 full auto like mashes. Maybe, but
I can see it. She's another option, basically. She's just another option. I use her in Belial, or Belial, I'm not sure how it's pronounced. I use her there with Tefnut, actually. And it's like, Tefnut gives her double strike, so she gets to dispel quite often. And the thing is, has a lot of sustain. So it works well as a full auto. Maybe that can be used this Guild War.
Yeah, I mean she does still have this the double dispel, double delay because she always charge attacks twice, right? This right here, as long as they have 10 or more debuffs.
That's very easy to receive, yeah.
So I mean, it could be useful depending on what the boss does. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's see who's next. Isaac. I actually did see. I saw like I think it was EX Plus with Isaac. I think that was it though.
One of my crewmates actually used. He's actually making her entire team around Isaac for EX Plus. I think. She spent a lot of time trying to make it work because she wanted to use Isaac. I have never met an Isaac fan before in my life. But
I mean, I like Isaac. He's cool. He's talking about cousin and stuff. And thinking, what's his face? Cassius. I think he's cool. He's a cool character, but I mean, his unit is kind of situational at best. Okay, Poseidon. I feel like Poseidon is kind of in the same vein as Zeta, but like kind of worse so because he only does triple attacks and he doesn't have the unique echo. So like you kind of bring him just because he does triple attacks, right?
He has flurry, like three hit flurry, which does do a lot of damage, but I have gotten fine without him because in any team that will have him for EX Plus, I just have Tyra instead, and it works just fine because she also deals a lot of normal attack damage.
Yeah. So I think he's another option. Like I feel like Water has just a lot of other option type characters, and I think that's kind of what he's at nowadays. Because you don't really bring him for like full auto or anything like that nowadays. So yeah. All right, let's see. Kalulu, the crest. This.
Yeah, that line function. That's it.
Okay. Let me see. None of these characters. Not this character, right? Not this one.
Maybe, I don't know.
Very, very situational at best character right here. I mean, I'll say like Haase's Haase. Do we have to talk too much about Haase? Like, she, whether using her back line or front line, she's very strong. She can play into like the like this joint is really good if you're trying to do Ogi loops, even if you're not using your Kicking MC. She can just come in with the Street King and just start doing Ogi loops for your team. She's got this thing which is ridiculous. Also, Charge Attack activates twice with this thing, but the skill damage with this very strong. The moon buff that we talked about earlier with the moon bow, very strong. This thing heals and delays, very strong. Just in general, very strong Tiki character. Very strong.
I think as soon as you can start using her in Guild War, you just don't ever stop using her. Like, I went from LM100, and I think everything after that you just use her because she's just that strong. Even if you're not Oging, because LM100, I'm still using Falsehood, but the damage she brings is just so. There's just so much that you can't pass on it.
Yeah, I know a lot of people, if they didn't have her yet, they were chasing this FLB for this Guild War because she will see use. She will see use in one thing or another.
Yeah, I was scared that Creep wouldn't get his before this game.
Gonna have to kick Creep out of the crew, bro. It didn't get Haase FLB.
He has it now, so I'm going to leave him alone for a while.
Yeah, I know. I remember Creep getting clowned on Twitter because when he posted the screenshot about uncapping and stuff, he was getting clowned like, "You don't have Haase already? What's going on?"
His role in our crew server has been Evoker of the Moon for over a year. He didn't even know for FLB.
So yeah, I mean Haase is Haase. She's very strong. So yeah. So next, Lesia just has that thing on Ogi. I don't know if really gonna
Yeah,
use that, but she has that nuke. These
I think
characters. Go ahead.
I think Leafy's backlighting passive activates more often than Maria Theresa's, so that's something you might want to keep in mind.
Yeah, I know. Even in when people were doing that Grand Order gold bar farming, they were using her nuke as well. Don't know about any of these characters, but Europa. Um, Europa, I feel like has so much stuff, and she got so much stuff from her FLB that even I'm still a little bit overwhelmed. Like I'm like scared of Europa because she she has so much stuff, and I like need to just go in and like commit all of it to memory, but she has like I know one thing that I've noticed recently is she has this thing which converts elemental damage to fire, which I guess doesn't really matter for Guild War. This is just me going on a side tangent, but this is converting elemental damage to fire, and then you also pair this with like Gabriel and she caps stuff at 10k. This joint taking bust his crap. uh
Yeah,
she also has this for like the guaranteed triple and the echo and the flurry, which also plays a lot into when you're doing like the double strike stuff. This, speaking of double strike, she'll give this to the person behind her, which is double strike plus all these buffs as well. Like um she's been a powerhouse ever since her FLB. So what do you have to say about her?
She's very strong in full auto.
Mm,
In any basically any teams, at least most teams I have that I run full auto where I need defense in some way. I run her because
mm,
she heals on her S1. She cuts that heals cooldown when she super attacks,
mm,
which happens even more often when you're running the falsehood chain.
mm-hmm.
So you can stack glass sheet pretty hard, and that S1 once you get glass sheet level 5, you can hit numbers like 10 million, or I've seen once 50 million damage like just from that skill.
Yeah.
Because you can hit it very hard. Um, the the flurry on her S3 does get a while. It takes a while to stack,
Mm,
but once it does like for me at least, it does around 600k damage per hit, with all the and then with all the bonus damage behind it and stuff.
mm-hmm.
It hits pretty hard. It has an additional nuke on her passive, a 2-hit nuke that also hits hard.
Oh yeah. Wait, what thing is that off of? This?
Uh, no, the her first passive.
Oh, this.
Yeah, she has a 2-hit
Oh yeah,
nuke.
right here. Oh yeah, yeah,
It does hit pretty hard. It hits for like 1 million damage each,
yeah.
I think. And she has the second passive which works with Haselia, because her Haselia's S3 gives a bonus. I think it's
Mm,
70%. So that
yeah.
works. That also gives damage cap.
Yeah. So
But
she.
I went a lot of time without noticing. Her S2 has a 15% perpetuity attack mod. I don't know why.
I don't know either. I don't know either, bro. Uh, I mean, it's like I said. I like the more I've been playing because I've been doing a lot of that I've been taking a lot of that double strike comp, which is like her, Paella, and Gabriel, into like a lot of random stuff, like ultimate Bahamut, like the normal one, just full autoing that, like fall high level, like doing a full auto of that, and it's just like this joint, like the shield plus the damage switch plus, like I said before, the Gabriel cap. It's like you can literally just go through the entirety of fall high level and fall out of that joint in like 4 minutes, and take no damage because this skill plus Gabriel, and you're just not taking damage in the first place because this thing also does this. It reduces the fire damage too. So it's just like you take very little damage in certain situations. Um, so yeah, I mean this is very strong character. Very strong character
Yeah,
as well.
mostly for full auto. I think like if you're doing a more defensive full auto or full auto on the longer side, you need to want to use her, but even it can get easily skipped over if you're doing like something that's more straightforward to dealing damage and killing quickly.
Okay. All right. Anything else to say about Europa?
No.
Okay. All right. Let's see who else. I don't even know what page I was on. 3. Okay. Strum no. Cagliostro got a rebalance like a year or two ago, I think, but nobody's really using this character, right?
No.
I haven't seen. I think she low key is another option, but she's like a very low other option. Okay, so your brothers right here, the first.
I don't know these things.
I mean, Uno popped up in the fastest wellness full auto in the last couple of days. I mean, he might be top tier. I mean, I don't know. I mean, to be honest though, I mean these two characters, I feel like I really don't know about Uno. Even though he can do a lot of damage. I've seen it with my own eyes. I got that full auto comp. He can do a lot of damage, but I don't know if there's space for him in a lot of stuff, especially in the Guild Wars scenario. And then Quatre, like his buffs and his debuffs and stuff are nice, but you have a lot of other characters that can do kind of the same thing as him as well. So I don't really know if either one of these, maybe they show up for something, but I'm not necessarily expecting either of them.
You know, in EX Plus, in some weird EX Plus count, I think outside of that he doesn't see any use. Maybe in some NM90 with his S2. And for Quattro, or I can just say refresh that. I think he needs to use in full autos, in long full autos. You can reach him because he will be using his skills a lot for damage. But I don't even think, yeah, he's really not the best option even for that, but he can be used.
Yeah. Okay. Alright, this Europa, no, none of these characters. Makula. Now, I'm gonna need you, as you can see, look. Listen. I've never used this character before. And even after a rebalance, I've never used this character before. So, I don't know anything about it. So, you got full reign on Makula. I don't know.
Alright, she can get used in, Start attack comps, start attack teams. She has bar on her S1. She plays kind of around crest, which she can generate kind of easily, and she boosts speed damage. So as I said before, I think I see her being paired with Filene, but other than that, I don't really see her being used this Guild War in other than full autos. She has heals on her S2. She has glasses, she has delay, she has defensive debuffs on her S3. But yeah, just an NM250 or maybe an N200 full auto character.
Gotcha.
I don't know where she gets used. Or if she gets used at all. Like, if you have her, you can definitely use her, but otherwise...
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I know some people kind of used her. Like, I remember in the Colossus M3 full auto, people were using Quatre before, and then she got a rebalance, and people kind of swapped her in there in some situations, and then I saw her pop up in like that Fa 0 solo. But besides that, I haven't really seen her in anything else. So
she does have a fair amount of damage, like with her skills, and they activate kind of often if you get to turn attack enough.
Okay. Okay. None of these characters. No Chat Noir.
That guy was a mistake.
Okay, fair enough. All right, none of these characters, none of these. I think the last one is just and maybe for like the defensive buffs and stuff.
Yeah, she had dispel on her third attack as well.
Oh yeah.
And she works. I guess she would work well in a full auto. Once again, full auto for enemy 250, or just in general, she has defensive buffs. But other than that, I don't know if she works that well because she has 200 charge bar, and she kind of needs her skills to get enough charge bar to work and stuff.
Yeah. So I guess just another filler character. Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, so I think that pretty much finishes it for weapons, summons, characters. I don't really have anything else. Gwen, if you don't have anything else, I think we're pretty much wrapped up. This is definitely going to be a long one. So,
Actually,
but this was pretty fun though. I'm glad that I asked you, and thank you for joining me. It's much appreciated because I really wanted to start doing this with guests, especially for elements that I'm not as into, because I know like you guys have insight that I don't have into stuff because you guys experiment with this Ellie more than I do. So I very much appreciate you for joining me for this. Is there anything you would like to say before we end?
I'm not even that good at the game. I don't even know the game. I just play water a lot, so everything I know is from looking into resources, trying to find more stuff. I don't think this should be what I say to be taken as like everything you can know about water is just what me telling people what I know about water, and yeah. So I think there's a lot even I could learn that I missed or I could look up. Otherwise, yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun actually.
Yeah.
I hope my friend accent won't be too much of a bother.
No, I think it'll be okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'll make subtitles for the video myself. But yeah, if decide to invite more people for the next Guild Wars, personally, I would love to see it. I think Fire is next Guild War. I know some very nice fire lords. If you invite them, I would very much enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I will definitely be asking around when other guild wars come, and even for this one, I tried to ask a few people, but I think some other people had like scheduling issues and stuff. And I'm kind of glad, honestly, that it was just kind of us, because I'm new to this whole like duo thing, so I didn't want to overwhelm myself with like 5 you can guess at once. So I'm glad for the first one it was just I'm kind of happy with just one person, to be honest. I think this worked out well. So but I will definitely be asking around in the future for other guild wars as well. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much all I got. You got anything else besides that? I think that's a wrap.
Yeah, I think that's it. Don't have anything to add.
Okay. Alright, well, that is it for this video. We will see everyone in Guild War. Good luck with your rankings and stuff. And until next time, thank you for watching, and bye-bye.
Bye-bye.